Namah Parvati Pataye Govindanam Sankirtanam.
Namaste everyone. Very happy to see you all here again, once again, for Srimad Bhagavatam. So we'll start with the prayer. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Jaya Sarva Vighnobhashantaye Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Guruve Sarva Lokanam Vishaje Bhavarogina Nadaye Sarva Vidyanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha தென்னாடுடைய பெரியவா போற்றி எந்நாட்டவர்க்கும் இறைவா போற்றி சர்வஜ்ஞா சர்வவ்யாபி பெரியவா சரணம் மாயப் பெறப்பெருக்கும் மகா பெரியவாடி போற்றி. ஓம் ஜன்மாத்யஸ்ய யதோ அன்வயாதிதரதஸ்சார்த்தேஷு அபிஜ்ஞஸ்வராட்டம் தேனே பிரம்மஹ்ருதாய ஆதிகவயே முஹ்யந்தி யத் சூரயः தேஜோ வாரிமிருதாம் யதா தீமஹி யத்ர த்ரிசர்கோ மிருஷாம் दाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तगुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं यङ्गयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्. So we are listening to Dhruva Charitram. Last time we have seen how Dhruva was born and how Dhruva went to the forest to do tapas. So Manu's son is Uttanapadan, and Uttanapadan has two wives, Suniti and Suruchi, and Uttanapadan always favors Suruchi, like he loves only Suruchi, and this Suniti and her son Dhruvan was banished by Raja Uttanapadan because of Suruchi. Suruchi got jealous and all. So they went to the forest, and when Dhruvan was 5 years old, he wanted to sit on the lap of his father, and Suruchi, and Suruchi, she pushed him because of the jealous, and she told that you have to do tapas, you have to do austerities to get into the lap of your father, and to get into, if you do tapas, then only you will take birth in my womb, so that you can sit in the lap of your father. So, the innocence, Dhruva was so innocent. He was only 5 years old. So, he said everything to Suniti, and Suniti was so sad. Suniti was so sorrowful, and she doesn't know the end of her sorrow. She said that you have to do tapas. You have to go to the Nirjana forest and do tapas. And, Dhruva started to forest. And he was shouting the name. Even he doesn't know the name of the Bhagavan. So in the Puranam it is said that he was shouting, Amma sonna devam enge. See, Amma has said some God, and who is that God, and where is he? He was searching. He was going, shouting and searching in the forest, inside the forest. At that time, Narada, it was heard by his sage Narada, and Narada came there. He was so happy to see Dhruvan and his perseverance towards the tapas. And he said, and Dhruvan was asking Narada, like, what is the way to reach God? Show me the path to reach God, to see God. Now Narada started explaining things like, whether it is dharmam, kamam, moksham or artham. It is whether it is a principle of religiosity or economic development or sense gratification or liberation, one should engage himself in the devotional service to the Lord. So, I wish all good fortune for you. You should go to the bank of river Yamuna, where there is a forest that is Madhuvana, named Madhuvana, and just by going there, one goes near the Lord, who always live there. So go there, take bath, and do all the thing. And now do snanam, sandhi, and tapas, and everything he was telling, and Dhruvan was confused. Now, Dhruvan was only a small child. So he asked the sage that, what is it? I don't know snanam, I don't know sandhi. I was betrayed by my father, fatherless child, like fatherless, not fatherless child. I was betrayed by father, and and I don't know anything. He started crying, and now Narada was describing the form of Lord. He has to think the Lord in his mind so that, he can do tapas. So Narada was describing the Lord's form, prasadhabhi mukham, shashvatam prasanna vadanikshanam, sunasam, subruvam, charu, kapolam, surasundaram. That is, he's explaining the form of Lord. The Lord, the Lord, Narayana or the Vishnu or Krishna, so beautiful. The Lord is so beautiful and pleasing, and very, very pleasing in attitude. His eyes is nicely decorated eyebrows, his raised nose, and his broad forehead, are all very beautiful. He's more beautiful than, we are describing Devas as very beautiful. He is more beautiful than all the demigods or Devas, He's always youthful, and his every limb and every part of his body is perfect. His eyes, his lips are pinkish, like rising sun. And he's an ocean of mercy. He's an ocean of mercy. The Lord has Srivatsam in his heart. Srivatsam in his heart. His body is deep bluish in color. He wears the garlands of flowers, and he is eternally manifest. He's eternally manifest with 4 hands, and which holds a conch shell. Conch shell means shangha in one hand, and wheel, that is a chakram, on the other hand, and club means gade, and lotus flower. You can imagine, his neck is adorned. His neck is adorned with all the kaustuba jewels. Dressed in yellow Peetham, so yellow silk garments, and he is decorated with small golden bells, around his waist, and his lotus feet, is decorated with beautiful golden anklets, anklet bells, all his bodily features are all very, very attractive and pleasing to his, pleasing to the eyes, and he's always peaceful. He's always calm. He's always peaceful, and very pleasing. Very pleasing. When seeing the God, it will be very pleasing in the eyes and mind. So now Dhruva asked whether he's male or female. It's a small child, isn't it? So he's asking whether he is male or female. Now Narada said, it is a Purusha Shabdam. Thus, he, described, Narada described the form, and he said, this Lord is already there. Is already there in your heart. You don't have to search everywhere to, where is the God? You don't have to search God outside. He is not any, any new person. He is not any new person to come. So he's already there in your heart. See, due to this ajnanam, due to the ignorance, one cannot see him. See, I will bless you. Now Narada says, I will bless you with Dvadasaksara mantram. That is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Chant this mantram continuously and try to see this form of Bhagavan inside your heart. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is a 12-syllable mantra for worshipping Lord Krishna. So chant this mantram and try to see the Lord. So the young Dhruva, now got that. Narada, the sage Narada bathed young Dhruva and advised him to follow the instructions as he said. And the Dhruva now, circumambulated sage Narada and prostrated before the sage Narada, folding his hands. And Narada said, why can't you start doing the puja? Okay, start the puja. But Dhruva said, my mom told to go to the Nirjana forest. That is where there will be no human beings, where there will be no distractions. So I want to go there and do meditation. Narada was so happy to hear this, and he was wonderstruck to see Dhruvan. So Dhruvan started for Madhuvanam now. Going to, even Narada felt that this Bhagavan is going to run and come to Dhruva, because there is no other go, because he is so, so focused on Bhagavan. Now, Dhruvan is so focused on Bhagavan that Bhagavan has to run and come and show darshan to Dhruvan. He was wonderstruck to see the perseverance, So, it's not going to take many years for Bhagavan to come. It's going to take only few months. So, after Dhruvan entered Madhuvanam, Narada, Narada Muni thought that it is, thought it wise to go to the king, Uttanapada, to see how he was faring now, within that palace. So he went to the palace of Uttanapada, and the king, received it, because he is a great sage. Narada is a great sage, isn't it? So he received it, folded hands, and he gave him seat to sit and all. So now Narada inquired, Rajan, your face appears to be withering up. You are just so dull. You look like, you have been thinking continuously for a very long time. So what's it? Have you been following your path of rituousness, religious rites, and are you satisfied with all the sense gratification? He's asking now. So the king fell down. The king Uttanapada now fell down into the knees of Narada and said, "Oh great Muni, I am very much addicted to my wife, and I'm so fallen. I am so fallen that I have abandoned all merciful behavior, even to my son who is only 5 years old. I have banished him along with his mother. I have banished him, even though he is a great soul and a great devotee. I banished him." So he started crying. Uttanapada started crying. See, alas, just to see how I was conquered by my wife. Just imagine my cruelty. So the great sage Narada, now he said, "O king, don't be aggrieved, don't be worried, okay, about your son. He is doing tapas and he is protected by Supreme Lord." Hearing that, Uttanapada was so happy now. So he said, "Now I can send all my soldiers to protect my son. Now, you just tell me where he is doing the tapas. I want my son to be getting protected by all the, wild animals and all those things, and I want to protect him." Now Narada said, "Don't go, don't have to go and disturb him there also. So he is protected by Lord himself. So he will also spread your reputation, all over the world. And he is protected by the Lord, so don't worry about it." Here, elsewhere, Dhruva, arrived at Madhuvana and took his bath in the river Yamuna. And as advised by Narada, he engaged himself in worshipping the Lord, the Supreme Lord. He started worshipping. So, for the first month, Dhruva ate only fruits and berries. On every third day, only to keep his, body and soul together. So in the second month, what happened is Dhruva ate only after 6 days. And, for his eatables, he took only grass and leaves. And he continued his worship. On the third month, he drank water. He drank only water every 9 days. Thus he remained, completely in trance. So in the fourth month, what happened? Dhruva became a complete, complete master of the breathing technique. He can control his breathing now. Thus he, he inhaled air only every 12th day. He became a great yogi by mastering this technique, Thus he became completely fixed in his position. So in the 5th month, what happened? Dhruva, the son, Dhruva, had controlled his breathing so perfectly that he he can able to stand on his only one leg and concentrate his mind. So that's the completely controlled his senses and their adjust, and in the way he fixed his mind without diversion to anything else upon the form of the supreme Narayana. He got only the form of Narayana. So when Dhruva thus captured the Lord, he captured the Lord at the age of 5. But what happened? That all the 3 worlds began to tremble because of the tapas, because of the fire due to tapas. Fire means it's burning. All the 3 worlds are burning. So the total universal breathing, became choked up, and all the big devas, big demigods, and all the planetary system, felt suffocated because of the tapas, and thus took, shelter of the God. They don't know what to do, why it is happening. They don't know. So they said, you are the refugee, because all the demigods, they went to Lord and they said that you are the refugee of all moving and non-moving, living entities. So please save us. So the Lord said, not to worry. The Lord said, do not be, perturbed, by this. It's all due to the austerities or tapas, full determination of the son of the King Uttanapada, Dhruva, who is now fully absorbed in thought of me. That is why the whole world is trembling. So don't worry. Here, Maitreya, the sage Maitreya is telling all these stories to, Vidura, isn't it? So the great sage Maitreya now told Vidura, when the demigods, when all the devas returned without fear, this Bhagavan, Sakshat Narayana, Sakshat Vishnu, Narayana got on the back of Garudan, and who carried him to Madhuvana to see the devotee Dhruva, where Dhruva was doing the austerities, where Dhruva was doing the tapas. See, when Dhruva was seeing the form of the Lord inside him, isn't it? He's closing his eyes and seeing the Lord inside his heart. The form of the Lord, which was, which was just brilliant, which was brilliant like lightning, and in which Dhruva in his this mature yogic process was fully absorbed in meditation, and all of a sudden, it disappeared. Because, Dhruva was perturbed by this, his meditation, perturbed by his meditation broke. As soon as he opened his eyes, otherwise he will not open his eyes. That is why it happened. So as soon as he opened his eyes, he saw the Supreme Lord, Supreme Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayana, Supreme Personality present, just he had been seeing in his heart. He was closing his eyes and he was doing tapas. So he was seeing inside the Lord, he was seeing the Lord inside him. Now the Lord was outside. So when he saw the Lord outside, he don't know what to do. He was a small child, and Dhruva, saw the Lord in front of him. He was greatly, happy or agitated, and offered him obeisances, prostrated and respect. He fell flat, he fell flat before him and became absorbed in the love of God. He became, ecstatic mood. So Dhruva in ecstasy, looked upon the Lord as if he were drinking the Lord, as he was drinking the Lord with his eyes. And, kissing the lotus feet of the Lord with his mouth, and embracing the Lord, embracing the Lord with his arms. He was imagining like that. He was, was gone into ecstasy. The small Dhruva, Although Dhruva was a small boy, he wanted to offer prayers. He wanted to do some stotrams to the Lord, But, because he was only a small child, he was very inexperienced. He was only a small child. He could not adjust himself. So the Supreme Lord, the Lord Narayana, was standing before Dhruva. This Lord was situated in everyone's heart, isn't it? He could understand the Dhruva's now awkward position. Like he wanted to do prayer, but he couldn't do. He doesn't know what to do. He was a small boy, but he went to ecstasy. Now, out of his costless mercy, he touched him with the conch shell to the forehead of Dhruva, and who stood before him with folded hands. He was standing before Narayana, Sakshat Narayana, the folded hands. When touched by the Lord, with the conch shell, Dhruva became perfectly aware of all the Vedas, Vedic conclusions and absolute truth. His relationship with all the living entities. So Dhruva praised the Lord. Now, praised the Lord with the stotrams. Most of us would have heard this stotram, like that Yonta pravishya mama vachamimam prasuptam sanjeevayatyakila shakti-dharah swadamnam anyansha hasta charana shravana tvagadhin pranan namo bhagavate purushaya tubhyam. See, Dhruva could understand now very easily the difference between his condition before and after attaining this spiritual realization, and seeking the Sakshat Narayana, seeing Sakshat Narayana face to face. He said, Dhruva now, he said, my dear Lord, after entering, within me, you have enlivened, all the sleeping senses, my hands, my legs, my ears, my, how can I say, the touch sensations, like, like force, and especially, my power of speech. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Okay. So, my Lord, you are the Supreme One. You are the Supreme One, but by your different energies, you appear differently in the spiritual and material worlds. So you create the total energy of the material world by your external potency, and after creating, after that creation, you enter within this material world as a super soul. You enter there, like it is like it is like why this laddu, you have taken this laddu and the jalebi and all, everything is sweet. Everything is sweet. That is because there is sugar inside this. If the sugar, otherwise it will be a very mere urud dal, urud flour. Without sugar, everything is only urud flour. The sweet is entered. That is, if sugar is entered, then only it becomes a sweet. So, but actually, if you see a fire, if you see, we always see it is like, we say that the fire burned. The fire burnt as twist and turn. But actually, the fire is not twisted. The fire where it is burned is twisted. That is why we see. So the adhishtanam. So adhishtanam is satyam. That is called the adhishtanam. Adhishtanam is always satyam. But we think the maya, we think the maya which comes from the adhishtanam is satyam. So that is not the. See, one who sees the rope in the nighttime thinks that it is a snake. But after the brightness, he comes to know that is only a rope and it's not a snake. It's not the, but he has to see the rope again with his own eyes. So then only the fear goes away, isn't it? So in the similar way, we have lot of tons of jnanam inside, tons of ignorance inside. So everywhere, we get rid of ajnanam only when we get in touch with the mahangal or sadhukal. Otherwise, we will see only, we will see the world as satyam. We can't see the super soul. So Dhruvan here said, my Lord, you have to give me another anugraham. Like I have to be in satsangam. When the mahangal, where the mahangal or the pure devotees always, talks about your glories, or talks about your glories, and hearing about all your glories, from the sadhukal or mahangal is so unlimited that it is far beyond the stage of brahmajnana, where one thinks himself, merged in the impersonal, Brahman as one with Supreme. Even that is more. Even hearing the glories of the Lord is more than this brahmajnana. So I have to be always in connection with all the jnanis and all the mahangal and all the Supreme Soul. He also said, bless me, so that I can be associated with great devotees or mahangal. Being with them only helps me to cross this nascent ocean of the material existence, which is filled with all waves of blazing fire, like dangers. All the dangers have to come out. We have seen now the slokam told by Gayatri ji, see how the Guru's Guru Dhyanam will, will help us to cross the ocean of dangers, of all the sorrows. That is the slokam's meaning. So, oh Lord, mahangal are like mothers, sadhukal are like mothers, who knows where there is, a mother knows the itch in the body. If the child cries, the baby cries, baby doesn't know how to say there is an itch in the body. You have to scratch that. They doesn't know, the baby doesn't know to say that, but the mother knows. She will do like, like small tapping like that, and the baby will start laughing, will start smiling. Similarly, if the person happens to associate, with a sadhukal, whose heart always hankers after your lotus feet, seeking always their, fragrance, is never attached to this material body or in relationship with it. Offsprings, friends, fame, home, wealth, and wife, where there are very, very, where it's all very, very dear to the materialistic person. He doesn't care for them. Thus, Dhruva did slogans, stotrams on Bhagavan and fell at his feet. So now Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu became very happy. He lifted him and asked, what do you want? Dhruvan said, take me along with you. Take me along with you to the Vaikuntham. I want to come to Vaikuntham along with you. I don't want to stay here. So now the Lord said, you are only 5 years old. So if I take you to Vaikuntham along with me, everyone will tease me. Because, see, he did tapas. This boy, the small boy, he did tapas. And he's not married. And he did not enjoy anything. He did not get anything in life, and he went to Vaikuntham along with that Lord. So this is not the case. So I don't want to do it. So you have to rule this land for 36,000 years, and you have to do Ekyam, Yagam, to please me. And then you come, and then you are going to come to me. So having said, he put his garland to Dhruva. And then Dhruva, after all this things, he disappeared. Bhagavan disappeared, and Dhruva was very happy, and Dhruva returned. So the king has given protection, all around the forest to help Dhruva to do tapasya. So here Amma means Suniti. Suniti is waiting there with tears. When Dhruva will come? I don't know. Dhruva has gone to the forest. He has to come. Good, So Dhruva was received by the king now. Dhruva was received by the king along with his wives. Now Uttanapada became very good. So along with his wives and other boy, Uttaman, with a grand reception, he is receiving his son, Dhruvan. So he wanted to hug Dhruva, on seeing Dhruva, but Dhruva slipped and went to the place where Suruchi was standing. Suruchi was standing in a corner. She was scared to see Dhruva because she doesn't know that Dhruva will take this in a very, seriously. Because but Dhruvan, he said, Dhruvan, he fell on her knees and he said, you banished me, but it made me to see Srimad Narayana himself. I have to thank you for all these things, you have done. So Suruchi told, my dear boy, long may you live. Okay, Bhagavan has come to you due to your gunam. Anyone who has transcendental qualities, due to the friendly behavior with the Supreme Lord, receives honor, from all living entities. Just as the water, the water automatically flows down. By nature, it automatically flows down. Water always flows down. Thus, Bhagavan's friendship will be, when you become friends to Bhagavan, then Bhagavan will come down. So thus Uttanapada, full of tears, hugged both the sons, that is Dhruvan and Uttaman. And Suniti, the mother of the hero, she embraced the tender body of her son with the tears all over her face. It wets the whole body of Dhruva. She was so happy. So, thus the king had, both the sons seated on the back of the elephant. That's the highest honor. So they returned to the capital. Then he saw that the Dhruva was suitably mature enough to take the charge of the kingdom. He was also married to Brahmi, who is so beautiful. Dhruva was married to Brahmi, who is so beautiful. Now, to Dhruva, he grew up and, Uttanapada, the king Uttanapada detached himself from the worldly affairs and entered into the forest, giving the kingdom to Dhruva. So sometimes in the future, his brother Uttaman, he went hunting to the forest and he was killed. The stepmother, the Suruchi, became maddened upon the death of her son and will be devoured by the forest fire. So Dhruva, performs a lot of yagam, and also give lot of charities. See, thus he ruled the kingdom for 36,000 years. See, one night, when he was one night when he was sleeping with his beautiful wife Brahmi, he felt everything was Maya. At that point, he felt everything was Maya. And at that time, what happened is Vaikundam from the Vimanam came from the Vaikundam for Dhruvan, to take Dhruvan to Vaikundam. So, this Mrityu, what happened? When he was going to Vaikundam, then Mrityu has to come, isn't it? So this Mrityu, what happened? He was scared. He became a stool for Dhruva, for him to land on the Vimana. See, this is all because of his austerity. This is all because of his tapasya he has done at the age of 5. He has seen, he has seen the Lord. So Dhruvan asked about his mother now. I don't want to go to Vaikundam without my mother. Where is my mother? So Mrityu said, Mrityu and other, Devatas, Devas, they said, already a Vimana has been sent to your mother, and your mother is now coming to Vaikundam. So she is also coming to Vaikundam. So all the Deva Kannikas, they all praised his chaste mother, Suniti. Suniti is because of Suniti only, because of Suniti's tapas only, because of Suniti's puja only, Dhruvan got this, version of the Srimad Narayana, isn't it? So, because of the chaste mother, so they all praised his chaste mother. So, even today, Dhruvan, along with his mother, is residing in Vaikundam. The marriage ceremony and all, it is said that, seeing Dhruva Nakshatram, that is Dhruvan, and this Arundhati, in the northern direction. In the northern direction is a great punya before, during the marriage. So thus, this is a Dhruva Charitram. Dhruvan's Charitram. So here, sage Shukar, he knows the mind of Parikshit. Parikshit was thinking that he has to become old enough to pray to Lord. He is now an young king. But now Sugar, he was telling about Dhruva Charitram. Dhruvan was only 5 years old. He got the darshan of Lord Narayana. He became a great yogi. So it is possible at any age. Bhakti is the main part. Bhakti, doing bhakti, focusing your mind on God and practicing for that. You can't, just like that, you can't focus your mind on God, isn't it? So I practice, for everything, practice, makes a man perfect. That's the thing, that's the saying, So by practicing, so how to practice? Doing, puja, or doing, in the morning and evening, you have to chant some slogans. You have to know the meaning of that slogan. You have doing that continuously, it will start, we will start thinking about the Lord. And one day we can also have darshan of Lord. Maybe even in this Janma itself, we can get the darshan. Who knows? That's about this is according to our, perseverance. So this is the Dhruva Charitram. So in the next session, we will see the other Charitrams and other Bhagavatam stories. So thus we will conclude here with this Dhruva Charitram, and we will conclude this session with Purnamidam. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all. We will see you in the next session.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ram.